Jean Spangler. You probably never heard of her. Jean was one of thousands of beautiful wannabes who came to Hollywood hell-bent on silver screen glory. But Jean's dreams never came true. Spangler mysteriously vanished on October 7th, 1949.
Be very unusual to disappear, although the Black Dahlia, that might have been around the time that Jeannie disappeared.
This case was to missing persons what the Black Dahlia murder was to homicides. It had enough twists and turns to rival any Raymond Chandler novel. For some strange, inexplicable reason, it had been swept under the carpet.
Well, it's time for a little Hollywood house cleaning, folks. The cast of characters involved in Jean Spangler's strange disappearance include disgruntled ex-lovers, a backroom abortionist, a mob kingpin, and a major movie star.
I think somebody high up may have been the father of that child she was going to abort, and she was going to shake him down for a payment.
One of the detectives on the case said the one thing we found out about this girl is she got around. I mean, she dated everybody. And it wasn't just show business people, it was gangsters.
On this episode of Mysteries and Scandals, we'll explore this bizarre case and examine a gallery of suspects, one of whom may have gotten away with the perfect crime.
I wanted somebody to pay for her disappearance. If it was an abortion, it would have been a homicide, not a murder. Now, if her husband killed her, that's a murder. There's a big difference.
Yeah, like the difference between 10 years and 10,000 volts. I'm AJ Benza. Take a walk on the mean streets of Hollywood as we try to figure out what happened to Jean Spangler and why.
This is Hollywood, a place, an industry, a state of mind. Hollywood is more than a trade name. It is a symbol for magic, entertainment, and make-believe.
October 7th, 1949 was the last day 26-year-old screen extra Jean Spangler was ever seen by her family. By all accounts, it was just another day. Kyle Wood is a crime historian who studied this case for more than a decade.
Basically, she left at 5:30, and she came down the stairs. It was a two-bedroom apartment in the old Metropolitan Insurance Housing Unit. Sophie, her sister-in-law, was downstairs with Jean's daughter and Sophie's daughter, and Jean came down the stairs and said, "How do I look?"
Crime novelist Arthur Lyons.
On the eventful night that she disappeared, kissed her daughter goodbye, winked at her sister-in-law and said, "I'm going to a movie shoot, and I have to also go by my ex-husband's house to see if I can get an increase in my child support payments." She never came home, and the next morning she was reported missing by Sophie, the sister-in-law.
The cops didn't pay much attention to Sophie's call. In a party town like LA, it's not unusual for a person to disappear for a night or two. John Austin is the author of Hollywood's Unsolved Mysteries.
So they immediately sent out an APD on radio and in the infant television of those days. The next day, the Griffith Park Ranger walked into the Ferndale entrance, found a purse lying on the side, and he picked it up and saw one strap had been ripped off, looked inside, and found all the identification cards for Jean Spangler from Screen Actors Guild, Screen Extras Guild.
The park ranger called the police. Officer George Onan was the first investigator on the scene.
This particular morning, that call came out just about pretty close to dawn. I saw the purse, I handled the purse, and my partner and I searched the purse. The purse straps were broken. That indicated some type of a struggle. Other personnel from the police department came, started to searching the bushes and the terrain around there to try to find and locate a body.
The police launched a massive manhunt. Retired Detective Ralph Asdel.
Her purse was found in an illogical place, and I think that somebody woke up to the fact that their purse was in their car and they threw it out the window. There's only one way that you could cover an area like the Griffith Park, is by horseback. I asked to have the mounted posse to be assigned to this particular area. They pursued the whole area to look for evidence and or the body.
Nothing turned up. That's when the LAPD shifted its focus to a cryptic note found inside Spangler's purse.
The note said, "Kirk can't wait any longer. going to see Dr. Scott. It'll work out best this way while Mother is away.
That note was analyzed by a police department handwriting expert, and that was her writing.
In order to understand what the note meant, investigators went back to the beginning of Jean's story. And so will we.
Jean Spangler was born in Seattle in 1923, and apparently her family moved around quite a bit, but she ended up in Los Angeles, graduating from Franklin High School in 1941.
In June of 1942, Jean married her high school sweetheart, Dexter Benner.
The marriage was in trouble right from the beginning, but then she found out that she was pregnant. Shortly after the birth of Christine, April 44, Dexter was inducted into the service. He goes to the South Seas.
He was sending her money back to save for them when he came home.
She has been seeing this other guy, an Air Force lieutenant named Scotty. She'd been living with him. They were talking about perhaps getting married. She goes to an attorney friend that she had, and she says, we've blown all the money that he sent back. Scotty's wrecked his car.
On the same day Dexter returned home from the war, the couple filed for divorce. Dexter received temporary custody of their daughter, Christine, because of Jean's infidelity with Lieutenant Scotty.
The lawyer remembers her coming in about 4 days later with a black eye and tells him that Scotty, her boyfriend, beat her up, threatened to kill her if she ever tried to leave him, and she did end up breaking up with him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we present suspect number one, the boyfriend. Was he the one who done it? Well, maybe. But Lieutenant Scotty was just one of the many men in the tangled tale of Jean Spangler. When we come back, more clues and more questions in this twisted scenario.